Guys, welcome to my vegan kitchen. I'm Michelle and I'm back with another easy, delicious, and so satisfying recipe. This recipe has been on repeat all summer long. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, tap on the bell, and let's cook. So this recipe calls for chickpeas and some pasta. Super easy, nice and nutritious. I wanted to share this recipe with you guys because, like I said, I've had it on repeat. It's so easy and it's so good. All right, so I have some water boiling, salted water. While that begins to boil, we're gonna prepare the chickpeas. So here I have some cooked chickpeas. And if you've watched my videos before, I always explain it's so much cheaper to buy dried chickpeas, soak them overnight, and then cook them to your desired tenderness. So that's what I do. I cook them and then I put them in an airtight jar. You could use this or you can use like a mason jar. Usually they'll last you for a couple of weeks unopened. Once you open them, it'll only last you for maybe about 3 or 4 days, the most 7 days, but it never goes to 7 days. So in here, I'm just gonna dump off the water. For some of you guys, if you wanna use that chickpea water, the aquafaba, you can use that to like thicken up recipes, but I don't need that. And I have plenty of chickpea water. So I'm just gonna dump this off. Once this is drained off, let me just place my chickpeas in the bowl, and you're gonna season it up to your desired likeness. I like a little bit of salt, some paprika. I use smoked paprika because I just like the flavor of it. Also, the smoked paprika, the redness, gives it a nice color once it's air fried. I'm gonna add some garlic powder, because you gotta add garlic powder. I mean, she's gotta add garlic powder. Some black pepper, some nutritional yeast, and I like to use nutritional yeast, not only that it adds extra nutrition, it also adds a little bit of coating on the chickpeas. I'm gonna give my chickpeas a little toss just to make sure all of the seasoning coats my chickpeas and come in and take a look. Also, what I've noticed when you buy the dried chickpeas, soak them and then cook them yourself, look how big, thick, and juicy those chickpeas are. The ones in the cans are a little softer and a little bit more soggy. This way, I know I'm getting some really good pieces of protein. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the chickpeas. Give that another little toss, make sure it's all coated. We do need to add some oil because we're gonna pop this in the air fryer, and the oil is gonna be a good conductor of heat. Plus it's also gonna give the chickpeas a nice little crispy outside and make them nice and tender on the inside. All right, let me grab my air fryer and I'm just gonna place that right in my air fryer. Then I'm gonna spread it out. And I'm gonna cook this on 400 for about 10 minutes. So while I'm still waiting for the water to boil, I'm gonna chop some onion and some garlic. Now you wanna get this garlic and onion finely chopped. And I can't emphasize enough, guys, please use fresh ingredients. Don't use that jarred garlic. You wanna use ingredients that are fresh. It's only gonna make your dish or your recipe taste 100 times better. So much better with fresh ingredients. So now that the water finally decides to boil, I'm gonna use Orzo pasta. And Orzo pasta I like because it kind of reminds me of rice. It's really little small pieces of rice looking pasta. Now with this recipe, you can use whatever pasta you choose. However, for me, I just like the way the creaminess of this dish and the Orzo really comes together. So I grabbed myself a nice heavy duty, shallow skillet, started to heat that up. Inside of the skillet, I'm just gonna add some olive oil. And I'm gonna saute my onions and my garlic in that olive oil till it becomes a little bit translucent. So as the garlic and the onions start to become translucent, please guys, keep your eyes on it. I do not want you to burn this part at all. Don't burn your garlic. This is how we want it to look. Now that we have it like this, we're gonna add in some frozen spinach and add in as much or as little as you want. So I'm just gonna grab a couple of handfuls of spinach. I love me some spinach, so I'm gonna add as much as I like. Now just allow the spinach to melt down into the onion and the garlic mixture. You might want to turn your stove down a little bit because like I said, we don't want the garlic and the onion to burn at all. The spinach melted. That's exactly how we want it to look. The pasta is cooked, so let me turn that off. All right, so we turned off the pasta, but we have to grab some pasta water. So I just usually take my little measuring cup and I just go in and grab some of that water and just save it on the side because I know I'm gonna need that. Please don't forget your pasta water. This is like gold right here. And then I'm gonna strain off the Orzo. And I like Orzo because it cooks really quickly, but like I said, you can use any pasta that you want. So now I'm gonna place my cooked pasta into the pot with the spinach, the onion, and the garlic. Then I'm gonna pour in some of my pasta water. All right. Then I'm gonna pour in some full fat coconut milk. And this is the coconut milk in the can. I just placed it in here just so I could, keep it in the refrigerator. I'm gonna put that in there because that's our cream. I'm gonna turn the flame up because I wanna get this bubbling. And I'm gonna add some nutritional yeast. I am not using vegan cheese in this recipe. I'm really trying to cut out using that processed vegan cheese. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm stopping it altogether, but I'm trying to use less of it. Nutritional yeast is very nutritious. It has a lot of B vitamins, plus it tastes just like cheese. So I'm gonna add in as much as I need. That's about 3 tablespoons because I have a good amount of water in there. I'm gonna blend this up, and that's what it looks like. It's just a powder, but it's gonna get nice and thick. Look at that already. That looks good already. And if you guys are thinking she used coconut milk, isn't this gonna taste like coconut? Believe it or not, it doesn't. It just, once the coconut milk cooks with all of everything here, it just doesn't taste like coconut anymore. It just tastes like creamy, heavy cream that you would normally use with dairy. Now that I have this in here, I'm gonna add some black pepper. And remember that pasta water has salt in it, so I probably don't need to add salt, but I'm gonna add like a little of everything else. So I'm gonna add, like I said, my black pepper. You can spice this up even more. Let's go in my spice drawer. Let's add some crushed pepper flakes. Just a little bit, because sometimes black pepper for me is just not enough. So a couple of crushed pepper flakes, optional, you don't have to add that. Let's give this a nice little stir. I got it nice and bubbling. And you're just gonna allow this just to allow some of the liquid to evaporate just a little bit more. So we're gonna give it maybe about 3 to 5 minutes just to kind of evaporate, not to dry out, but just kind of to loosen up a little bit. Give it a taste and make sure it has enough salt. It's good, it's good. Maybe a drop more salt, just a drop. That's it. So let it cook down. Let me clean up and we're gonna plate up. All right, my spinach Orzo, creamy spinach Orzo is all done. That's what it looks like, guys. So let's get this in a plate. All right, got my plate. Let's give it a nice little stir. Come in close so you can see. So I made it sit, like once I turned the stove off, I gave it like a minute or 2 just to kind of sit and thicken up. But look how creamy and delicious that is. That is gorgeous. All right, let's plate this up. Ooh, Oops, I dropped some. And when I tell you guys, that's why I had to show you guys this recipe, because I've had it on repeat. It kind of reminds me of risotto, but in a pasta-like way, but very close to risotto. All right, so remember that we made some chickpeas. Now I added the chickpeas, obviously for added protein, because you do want to add a little substance to this, but that's what my creamy orzo with spinach and air-fried chickpeas looks like. Now it's time to taste. Let's dive in. Still a little hot, but I can't wait. When I tell you this is satisfying, it's so velvety and creamy, but it's cheesy without even using cheese. And then you get like that nice soft crunch from the chickpeas. I'm going in for another taste. So good. You're gonna be addicted to this. You're gonna have it on repeat also. Thank you guys for joining me in my vegan kitchen. Don't forget to subscribe. I have plenty of easy, delicious, plant-based recipes. See you next time, guys. Bye.